live. News 8 at 6 starts now.
That banner. Thank you so much.
President Biden touring Connecticut today to promote his Build Back Better plan. He visited a daycare that would benefit from its passage.
Celebrating the life and legacy of not one, but two proud sons of Connecticut.
His second stop, Yukon, where a human rights center was dedicated to former Senators Christopher Dodd and his father, Thomas Dodd. Good evening. I'm Ann Nyberg.
I'm Dennis South. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. President Biden is now aboard Air Force One heading back home. He left the state within the past hour after a jam-packed day of promoting his agenda and celebrating his longtime friend.
We have team coverage for you this evening. It starts with every leg of the president's journey today.
But before we get to News 8's Sabina Korea-Coast with Biden visit to Yukon, let's check in with News 8 Chief Political Correspondent Jody Latina in Hartford, where the president visited the Capital Child Development Center. Jody?
The state has been investing in early childhood education for about 30 years. We have something in our state called the School Readiness Program, and it combines daycare and also early childhood preschool. They say it is a major success both economically and educationally. The Capital Child Development Center in Hartford, the backdrop for President Joe Biden's Build Back Better agenda.
If we want to get parents back to work, we must solve the child care crisis.
The facility faced closing during the pandemic. They have capacity for 70 children. Only 22 are enrolled.
We were in danger of losing 50,000 spaces, but these federal interventions helped stop that.
One-time infusion of funds didn't solve the underlying problem.
She says they can't charge more for tuition, can't raise wages. This makes recruiting workers difficult.
Because of the low wages that child care generally pays. So that's why you need some public investment from the federal government.
The average family in Connecticut pays $16,000 a year for child care. The Biden administration wants to subsidize the cost, capping it at 7% of a family's yearly income. And free preschool for qualifying centers like this one.
No middle-class family will pay more than 7% of their income on child care.
The president is also offering a $4,000 tax credit for each child for families earning less than $125,000 a year, an extension of his American Rescue Plan.
They understand that when families have a little more breathing room, America has a lot better shot.
The $3.5 trillion Build Back Better plan is being debated in Washington. The president acknowledging it will be pared back. Taxing the wealthy earning more than $400,000 a year is how the administration expects to pay for it. But not all families qualify for the subsidy.
All parents need that, and that has nothing to do with citizenship. It should be available for all parents.
Now, there's also an infrastructure bill that would fix roads, bridges, and trains. The president today said that child care is the most important human infrastructure. Live in Hartford, Jody Latina, News 8.
From Hartford, the president traveled east to Storrs. That's where a new center for human rights is dedicated to former Senator Tom and Chris Dodd. News 8's Sabina Korea-Coast was there and brings us President Biden's tribute to his friend Chris Dodd. Sabina.
And of course, this was a huge day for Yukon, its campus here at Storrs, and of course, its program for the study for human rights. And to give you an idea of how exciting it was here on campus, we're more than an hour out since the president left, and only now have things really started to empty out. Media, the only ones remaining now. Now, all of this, we are told, came together in less than 1 week. We were told that by the former U.S. Senator Chris Dodd. He tells us that the president gave notice to Yukon and the Dodd family that he could make a stop here on campus just last Sunday. The president, of course, already touring to promote his current policy agenda right now in front of Congress, as we heard Jody touch on just a few moments ago. Now, President Biden and Chris Dodd were former colleagues in the U.S. Senate, and they still remain good friends. The president highlighted the work of Senator Dodd's father, Thomas Dodd, the former long-running U.S. Senator from Connecticut who prosecuted Nazi war criminals, and, of course, his son Chris's efforts to continue that legacy.
I saw up close how he fought for human rights and human dignity in the Senate. The work this senator is doing to bring human rights to the forefront of public understanding is making a real and immediate impact for all young people today.
And after the president spoke, we spoke with Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, former Senator Chris Dodd, and Governor Ned Lamont, who the president during his speech called one of the finest governors in the country. We'll have their reactions to that speech coming up on News 8 and WCTX at 8, 9, 10, and 11. For now, we are live on the campus of UConn at Storrs. Sabina Correa-Coast, News 8.
Yeah, thank you. Now, the presidential visit brought out hundreds of people to the motorcade route in Hartford trying to get a glimpse of the president or his limousine. Some people were excited to have the president here, but others came out to voice their displeasure. After the president landed at Bradley Air Force and Air Force One, he took Marine One, a helicopter, to Brainerd Airport in Hartford, and there people were lined up at the barricades trying to get a glimpse of the president.
You're hoping maybe he'll come on over and say hi?
Yeah, well, that would be the best thing because you know how he likes to talk to everybody. So I'm just sitting here waiting in case he does, but I'm not sure that's going to happen today.
Mr. Biden boarded Air Force One to leave Connecticut around 5:30. He is now flying back to Washington to continue pushing Congress to pass his Build Back Better agenda.
The Republican National Committee released a statement on the presidential visit today. It reads, quote, as Joe Biden grandstands in Connecticut, choosing a city where the crime is surging, the families and workers of the Constitution state want real results over the job-crushing environment Democrats have created. With Republican momentum on the rise, Biden parachuting in with spiraling approval numbers is no favorite Johanna Hayes or Democrats hoping to keep their seats next November. Stay with News 8 on air, online, and on the News 8 app for complete coverage of his visit. We'll have more coming up for you on News 8 at 8 on WCTX. Joe.
All right, and Dennis, 2 weeks from today is the 10-year anniversary of the epic Halloween snowstorm. And what's really interesting is that the same exact weather pattern we had 10 years ago, right now, warm temperatures, and then by the end of the month we had the snowstorm. So we'll have to keep an eye on the end of this month. For now, we're eyeing a gorgeous sunset out there. There's New Haven, New London, looking great. Nice little breeze. Oh, Hartford, really spectacular. Temperature at 73. So we're in the 60s and 70s across the state. A nice mild evening as the sun is setting right now. And, well, the dew point is up there as well. Look at the dew point at New Haven at 68. Wow. So we have a windy, warm, and humid Saturday coming up as temperatures tonight stay in the 60s. Highs tomorrow back well into the 70s. The daylight hours dry, but watch out tomorrow evening. It's going to be wet, and then it's going to be autumn in the 8-day forecast coming up.
There's word more marijuana might be available to some people across Connecticut. The new plan in the works.
Plus, here's something to think about. Could another drug be legalized in Connecticut? We are talking about mushrooms when we come back.
Medical marijuana patients in the state can now access more medication. The state medical marijuana program has increased monthly allotments for its patients from 2.5 ounces to 3. They say the decision was made in an effort to provide patients with greater access to medication for their debilitating conditions. It was motivated in part to prevent possible shortages as growers gear up to supply recreational users with cannabis next year.
The bill does allow the medical businesses, the producers and the dispensary facilities to convert to serve adult consumers. But as part of that conversion, they need to have a medical preservation plan.
However, patients are now allowed to grow their own plants at home. Right now, there are about 54,000 medical marijuana patients in the state.
Also new tonight, could magic mushrooms be the next drug legalized here in Connecticut? There's a state task force studying that right now. The task force was created last legislative session as part of the substitute Senate Bill number 1083. It required the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services to convene a working group to study the health benefits of psilocybin, the hallucinogenic compound in magic mushrooms. Some studies show that that compound could be beneficial for mental and physical well-being. The group is supposed to present its findings to the General Assembly in January.
The world's first nuclear-powered submarine, built in Connecticut, is on the move. The Nautilus was towed from its moorings to the nearby naval subbase in New London. It's getting a $36 million renovation. It's to ensure that this National Historic Landmark remains the centerpiece of the Submarine Force Museum. Part of the renovations include being fixed up and painted. The topside decking will be replaced. It's getting a lighting upgrade. The preservation is expected to take up to 8 months. Foxwoods is looking to build a luxury RV resort on its land. The Mashantucket Pequot tribe, along with a developer out of Maryland, have filed plans with the town of Preston for the park. It would include campsites, a pool, water slides, splash pad, tennis and volleyball courts, and more. The project will be discussed next week.
Come in with an unwanted gun, walk out with money in your pocket. I'm Kent Pierce. I'll tell you about what's going on here and at 6 other locations around the state tomorrow. That's coming up.
And what's coming tomorrow? More summer weather. Windy, warm, and humid, but then, finally, some real autumn weather. And your 8-day forecast coming up.
Tonight at 8 on WTNH, addressing COVID hesitancy, what a new Yale study is saying tonight.
And we're highlighting a family business who is roasting coffee locally tonight on Nyberg. Connecticut's only 3-hour primetime newscast starts at 8 on WTNH.
Now, it is one of the biggest gun buyback events ever in Connecticut. 7 different cities and towns are all hosting events tomorrow. They're also offering free gun safes for some gun owners. News 8's Kent Pierce has all the details now from Hartford.
Here at the Hartford Public Works Building and at 6 other locations around the state, you can come here on Saturday, drop off an unwanted firearm, and walk out with a gift card in your pocket. From 10 to 2 Saturday, turn in a rifle or shotgun, get a $50 gift card. Turn in a handgun, get a $100 gift card. Turn in an assault weapon, get a $200 gift card.
If you've got a gun that you don't want, that you don't know how to handle, that you're not safely storing, that maybe you inherited or maybe you discovered, this is your opportunity to safely turn it in.
There are also gun safes available, free for people with handgun permits. That gets the support of the Newtown Action Alliance based on what happened at Sandy Hook Elementary in 2012.
What if Nancy Lanza 9 years ago didn't have guns in her home? What if she had all her guns locked up in gun safes?
And what if the dad of a friend of Ethan Song had his guns in a safe? Ethan would probably not have accidentally shot himself.
I wish I could stand here and tell you that Ethan's death is an outlier, but sadly it is not. 8 to 9 children a day are dying because they've gained access to unsecured guns.
There are only a limited number of safes available, but they will take any and all guns. They don't even have to work.
So please, if you have an unwanted gun or have a gun that you want to secure, please, please stop by one of the 7 gun buybacks because it may save a life.
So in addition to the Hartford Public Works Building, this is also going on in Bridgeport, Guilford, Newtown, Stamford, Waterbury, and Norwalk, Saturday from 10 to 2. In Hartford, I'm Kent Pierce, News 8.
All right, thanks, Kent. Hi, everybody. All right, another great sunset for us out there this evening as the sun just went down at 6:09 as temperatures went back up through the 70s today. Yeah, we're upwards of over 4 degrees above average for this month so far. Yeah, you can see New London looking pretty good. Nice little breeze. That's a sea breeze. Got you down to 68 at New London, 73 at Hartford. And look at that sky. Wow. So beautiful conditions. Some clouds starting to come in. And those clouds are going to help keep the temperature up tonight with that strong southerly breeze that's going to be developing as we go into tomorrow. 78 at Hartford today, 76 at New Haven, 76 at Oxford Airport. New London, a little bit of a sea breeze this afternoon. Kept you down from yesterday's high that was up around 80. It's still 70 plus in a lot of spots across the state. So we're talking about an unseasonably mild evening. The south breeze out there right now is really not all that strong. It will be this time tomorrow that the wind will really be cranking. Yeah, we're talking about wind gusts tomorrow afternoon, 30, maybe 40 miles per hour. And you bring that kind of wind across Long Island Sound. Some big waves at the Sound. So yeah, this is great boating weather right now. And if you have plans to do that tomorrow, just be mindful on the Sound and on the river as well. It's going to be a little bit choppy. And with this kind of southerly wind, dew points right now are in the 60s, and those dew points will be in the 60s again tomorrow. So that's why summer continues for one more day. And then a cold front goes by tomorrow night. There the dew points in the 40s. For Sunday, the front's out to the west. The high moves off, and, well, we're going to move some showers and thunderstorms in here by this time tomorrow. So, delightful evening. Might have the air conditioner on tonight as we stay in the 60s overnight tonight. 70s tomorrow. Again, could press 80 inland, so it's another amazing day with the thunderstorms and heavy rain arriving after about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So plan on tomorrow being in the evening very wet, and through midnight we'll stay wet. Bring that batch through, and then, well, we're talking about some great weather. Sunday, morning sun, afternoon clouds, temperatures right where they should be. We're in the 40s to start to Monday. Yeah, we're doing great with highs in the 50s and 60s for the second half of the weekend on into early next week, and then we're back up in the 60s. Great weather Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Dennis?
Joe, thank you. First night is back at UConn. Next in sports, Bob Rumbold has a look at a Husky big man who's primed to have a breakout season.
And now here's Leland Bitter with a preview of what's coming up on News Nation.
Tonight, the many ways vaccine mandates are negatively impacting those who are already vaccinated. Plus, what a Texas administrator was caught telling teachers to include in their curriculum about the Holocaust. That's coming up on Balance. Now here's a look at tonight's Dan Abrams Live.
Thanks, Leland. Tonight on Dan Abrams Live. A new article in Politico comes out about Hunter Biden. Will all of the media now start to look at some of the ethical questions about his past businesses? That's coming up tonight on Dan Abrams Live.
Dan, Leland, thank you. You can watch News Nation on any one of these stations.
Howdy, folks. Well, first night is back at UConn tonight. First look at the men's and women's basketball teams. Students only allowed this year. Yeah, a little change. As John Pearson tells us, the guy to keep an eye on this season will be Adama Sanogo.
Adama Sanogo is poised to have a big season.
I can promise you that. I'm ready to go.
After just 1 year in stores and a long way from home, Sanogo has emerged as a team leader.
This is kind of like a home for me now. I kind of like build another family here.
He left his West African country of Mali back in 2017. 4,400 miles away from home took some getting used to.
The first month, when I came here back in 2017, I kind of like nervous, didn't like it. Came from another country and not having your family here is tough.
The nerves are long gone. School keeps him busy and he wants to play in the NBA. Dan Hurley gave him an off-season to-do list. In any of the 4 languages Sanogo speaks, the goal was the same.
I want to improve on my game, be able to guard, point guard, and be able to shoot and be able to pass the ball.
The 6'9" big man has become the heartbeat of the Huskies. His work ethic fueled by something you can't teach.
Adama is very competitive. I just don't like to lose.
If you're on a Adama team and you lose, just know you're hearing it for the rest of the practice.
That's my mentality. That's a mentality I want to give everybody in the team.
A Big East All-Freshman player a year ago, Sanogo started 20 of 23 games. His numbers are only going to get better anchoring an intimidating front line.
Like Coach Ellis said, we have the best front court in the country, and I believe that too.
I'm John Pearson, News 8 Sports.
That should be fun. Hey, tomorrow the rivalry is renewed. That would be UConn and Yale. Here's hoping they play this football game every year. Why not? No-brainer for some, most anyway. Should be a good crowd tomorrow at the Rent. Yale football players have certainly gotten plenty of ticket requests.
There's definitely people that reach out asking to get some hands-on tickets for the games. I always make sure that my friends and family are taken care of first. At the end of the day, you got to stay true and loyal to know who stays true and loyal to you.
Fair amount of family that's in Connecticut. Actually had some from upstate New York that are going to try and make the trip. Don't think I can get tickets for all of them.
I'm very fortunate to have an amazing wife who takes care of all that stuff. I don't even know who's there. I know the team's there. I know I belong to the sideline, and that's pretty much it.
That's pretty good. Game starts at noon tomorrow. Should be fun for football fans in our state. Game 1, ALCS, Red Sox Astros. Manager Alex Cora surprised most people by naming Chris Sale his Game 1 starter.
says a lot about him and his trust in me. You know, I appreciate that. There's no hiding from it. It's no secret. You know, it's been absolutely horrible. Probably my 2 worst starts of my career.
So there's nowhere to go but up.
Sounds
there
good.
you go. That's it in sports. Joe, what you got?
All right, Bobby, I've got one more summer day for you tomorrow. We're talking about temperatures getting up there through the 70s towards 80. It's windy, it's warm, it's humid. Hold off the showers and thunderstorms till around sunset tomorrow, and then finally we've got some autumn weather for you Sunday and early next week. Dennis Ann.
All right, thanks so much. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Our next news, 8 o'clock. I'll see you Sunday morning at 10 o'clock for This Week in Connecticut. Have a great night, everybody.